Oh my gosh. Okay, boys, I just got to do a video real quick. Hey, Nails. Hey, Piggy Smalls. You boys want to be in a video with me? Don't run away. Oh, but you do. Well, go get your brother. Tell him to come back. Hey, Scott here, Scotty's Animals, and I'm with Nails and Piggy Smalls, and they're sitting in the giant cuddle cup, and I love this thing. It's got a bunch of pads that I can swap out so that I don't have to wash the whole thing and so that it stays clean. But today I wanted to talk about quarantine. Not this crazy thing that we're doing, but what happens when one of your piggies is sick. Linda just sent me a message about her piggies and how they've been separated. I think in her case we're talking about a respiratory infection, but I've gotten messages about people separating their piggies when one had ringworm or mange or a number of other diseases. So I ran this question by the LA Guinea Pig Rescue volunteer group chat, and I got a number of interesting responses, but the consensus seems to really be listen to your vet and do what you think is right. And that's basically, you could say that about parenting in general. Doctor, not vet, but but I thought I would just do a little quick video and talk about this because it seems like there's no definitive answer. So in general, in my experience now, I've been volunteering at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue for 8 years or so, and in that time I haven't seen too many piggies separated from their bonded buddies. Now, we do have a medical area where we do quarantine some piggies, and that's usually for very specific reasons. So some of the reasons that the volunteers mentioned, like Avery said that one of her piggies wasn't feeling well and the other one was bullying that one. So if you're in a situation where one of your pigs isn't feeling well and they're not in perfect health, or they need to rest, then maybe they do need to be separated for a short period of time so that they can recover. But the reason why I worry about separating piggies is people have messaged me saying they separated their sick piggies and then the bond has broken and they wanted some advice about how to bring that bond back together. Now, really, in general, there's nothing that you or I can do to bond piggies. We are just the referees, and whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. And it's up to us to decide whether or not it's safe for them to live together. Piggy Smalls, your carrot is right here. Here. So what are some reasons that you might want to separate your piggies? Well, like I said, if they are not feeling well or their cage mate is bothering them. Another reason might be stitches. If your piggy has stitches and you don't want the other one to maybe chase them around and they're at risk for the stitches getting pulled out, or along that same lines of stitches, maybe they just need to be in a smaller enclosure while they're recovering from some kind of surgery. But in general, I would really worry about separating your piggies for an illness. So let's talk about contagious illnesses. Now, pneumonia or a respiratory illness, those are contagious. And, ringworm is sort of contagious, but once you start these treatments, you'll find that they're not contagious. Once you're on antibiotics for 24 hours, you're no longer contagious. So, and a lot of times piggies, they won't catch something from their cage mate. Another volunteer said, if you just keep on the vitamin C and try to keep their immune system boosted, a lot of times you won't see any symptoms of illness from the other one. But in the case of ringworm or mange, we treat mange with ivermectin, and that's a preventative but also we would treat it if we saw signs of mange. So if you go to my website, scottysanimals.com, there will be a link in the description and you can see the URL right here. If you go there, I have a free guinea pig care guide, and it goes through all the different topics from building a cage, setting up a cage, cage mates, and diet, nutrition, and also illness. And so one of the things that I have there is I have links to all the treatments. What are you doing under there? So I have a link to all of those treatments. You can buy the ivermectin, and also it explains the difference between mange and ringworm, and so I've got you covered. What? Just be patient. We're almost done. We're almost done. You just eat too fast. Here, you're standing on a piece. There's one right there. One right there. Okay? These boys, they're very sweet, but they're also very silly. So I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments as far as separating your piggies when they're ill. On the one hand, I would do what the vet says, but on the other hand, there's a lot of vets out there that just really, they don't know. So for ringworm, I would say you don't need to separate your piggies, especially at the risk of a bond being broken. And so you would just treat them both. You would give them both an antifungal shampoo bath with a Head and Shoulders or some kind of a generic version of that, something that has that zinc ingredient. There's also a number of pet-friendly antifungal shampoos that you can get if you want to spend even more money. But we would give a bath to both of the piggies, and the one that actually is showing sign of ringworm, you would put the antifungal cream on. But with mange, you would treat them both, and then you would just assume that the mites, by the way, they are microscopic, internal, under the skin, subdermal parasites, so you can't see them. If you see little squigglies walking around, then that's probably lice. But the same thing, you can treat it with ivermectin, or you can use a lice shampoo also. You might do both in the case of lice. But separating your piggies, I just don't think that that's necessary. But whatever you feel comfortable with doing, just be aware that the bonds might break if you separate them for too long. You wouldn't need to separate them for the whole course of the antibiotics. Common sense or common wisdom seems to say that about 24 hours to 3 or 4 days and they're no longer contagious. But it's always been my understanding that after 24 hours on antibiotics, humans are not contagious. I don't know if it's the same for piggies. What are you doing under there, Mr. Smalls? Come here. Come here, Mr. Smalls. Come out. Oh, boy. Now you're going to end up being... No! Hold on. You're juggling piggies. You got your nails in his butt. Careful. Stay up here. Here. Here you go. No crying. Alright, so let's end this video. We can continue the conversation in the comments, but it seems to be that if we're talking about pneumonia, even something like that, you may consider separating, but listen to your vet. What are you doing? If you're doing a course of antibiotics, then I think after several days, you're no longer contagious. So I'm really struggling to kind of think of a situation other than the ones that I've talked about where there is some kind of an illness and piggies should be separated. So let's continue that conversation in the comments, and I'll get these boys back in their cage. You boys are my sweet preciouses. I love you boys. Even though you're trouble. Okay guys, I'll see you next time. What? You're on his back. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. Do you like that? Okay boys, come on.